microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 25 of the You, Me, and the Scene podcast. We got so caught up in talking with our guests on this episode that we actually forgot to record an intro. So y'all are getting a solo intro from me, Thrillhouse, as I am editing this. Just popping in with a couple quick updates before this episode gets started. Alisana announced their third chapter of the trilogy tour. The third and final one is coming this summer. We're doing 3 different legs in June, August, and October. By the time this episode comes out on Monday the 15th, tickets will already be on sale. They're going on sale on Friday the 12th, and VIP is going to go on sale sometime this week. Go check all their socials for the dates and links and all that stuff. I'll be behind the merch table as usual. Come hang out, come say hi, maybe take selfies, buy stuff, whatever. The day this episode comes out, we're actually leaving for the Latin America tour that I've been talking about for months. We are, in fact, doing meet and greets for that run. A lot of them are sold out, but a bunch of them aren't. I don't know off the top of my head which are sold out, but go check out Alisana's Linktree for all that information. All I know is this run's gonna be crazy, and I'm not even sure if I'm ready, but I'm sure it'll be a great time regardless. Gold Step's new single, Narcissist, is coming out this Friday, April 12th. Again, it will be out by the time this episode airs. And on this episode, we have Zach and Betty from Gold Steps to talk a little bit about it, and it was really fun to catch up with them because we are actually friends with them, and they're really fun to talk to. But that's all I got as far as updates go. Let's get on with the episode.
Hey guys, we're back with Betty and Zach from Gold Steps, and by the time this podcast comes out, their new song Narcissist will hopefully be playing from your speakers on repeat. That's the goal. It will be. It'll be playing on all of ours. So the last time we had Betty on was a little over a year ago now, so a lot has happened in between. Some original songs, some covers from our girl T Swift, and a lot of recording, I think, in between. So if you guys want to just jump in, let us know what you've been up to.
Yeah, okay, so since March of last year, we went, I can't remember if we talked about going into the studio on the last podcast, but we went into the studio with Alan Day twice in March and in July, and came away with 3 songs, and Narcissist is the last of those 3. So Undercover came out in August. Missing Out came out in February. No, was it February? March 1st. It felt like February because it was still cold,
close.
snowing here.
So cold.
And then we also released 4 covers since that time. We released Creed, One Last Breath. We did a cover of Creed's One Last Breath, which was totally slapped on, so everyone should check that out. And then we released our cover, Blank Space Gold Steps version back in October to celebrate Taylor Swift and all of her monumental accomplishments this last year, including the release of the Eras Tour in theaters. And then we appeared on a compilation for Pacific Ridge Records, who our fan favorite cover of Census Fail's Rum is for Drinking, Not for Burning. That is the same record company that put out that cover. So we did a cover of Blink-182's Down, and as a little added bonus, Built This Pool. Which, if you're not familiar, it's a joke track, and it's one of my favorite Blink songs just because it's so absurd, and which it just, really reminded me of how they used to be. So it's one of my favorites. It's probably my favorite track off California besides She's Out of Her Mind, but that was already taken. So. We've released
and some music videos in between too.
And music
videos. Yeah.
That's something I really wanted to talk about, is recording those music videos, particularly the Blank Space one, because I know that one was probably pretty gnarly for you, Betty, with the water.
Yes. I mean, it was different. I think it was it was less awkward than I thought it was going to be. Like, you just kind of have to get, it's the same thing when you're on stage where you just kind of have to like, if you hesitate at all, people will be like, oh, she was nervous, or oh, something doesn't look right. So you just kind of throw yourself into it. And like, if there's one thing I do really well, it's just like going batshit insane and just like losing myself in all of it. And so there was definitely a point though, like I wear contacts and sorry, our dog just sneezed.
She's being wild. She wears contacts. She wears contacts.
I wear contacts. So there's, you know, obviously when the water's like streaming into my face, it's like going in my eyes, and you're not supposed to open your eyes underwater when you swim because your contacts can just float out of your eyeballs. And so it didn't quite get to that point, but there was like a point where like I had to like stop and like figure out where my contact was in my eye and like push it back, and like trying to do that without like messing up makeup. But of course my face is all wet, so at that point it didn't really matter. But there's definitely a point when I'm shooting it where I was like, if this doesn't, if some of the other scenes don't look good, we cannot go back. Like everything's like,
it's fine.
You get one shot at those takes.
No one really understands the pain of losing your contact in your eye unless you wear contacts. It's so painful. It's so painful.
Literally like in the back of your eyeball, and you're just like
something.
Yes, exactly.
One of the first, I researched this the other day because I was getting ready for work at 5 a.m. and one of my contacts disappeared. I furiously Googled if it can be behind my eyeball, and allegedly it's impossible for it to be behind your eyeball, but I don't know.
No,
that's
don't
not
believe
true.
that.
That's not true. They can actually get stuck back there. And there was a guy who had like a bunch of them like stuck back there. Like he would sleep in like his dailies, which fun fact about Alan Day. Alan Day is an eye doctor's worst nightmare.
Because you're about to tell me that Alan Day is a serial killer because he sleeps in his contacts. Is that what?
He does. He sleeps in his dailies for weeks at a time.
He said months at a time.
He said months at a time. He sleeps with he obviously doesn't wear mascara because I can maybe make it like I don't sleep in my contacts like ever unless it's been like a really gnarly night on tour and I just can't get a place to like take them out, and then I'll nap in them, and then whenever we stop somewhere I'm like in the dirtiest gas station bathroom, but at least my contact isn't in my eye.
Right.
But I won't sleep in them because it can scratch your eye like really badly, and I don't want like cataracts or anything. But he was saying, he's like, yeah, I get the dailies and I'll just like wear them until, I don't know, I just don't. And I was like,
they're dailies. You change them every day.
Well, my dailies, I clean them pretty well because I used to have monthlies. So I got 6 months worth of dailies and 6 months worth of monthlies. And I've been making the dailies last anywhere between like 5 days to a couple of weeks. So, you know, I'm like,
I do. Because
I mean, I don't want to spend $600 on contacts like every year. Like, you can afford them. Like, nothing. Like, we all have eye insurance and it covers
nothing.
$100
Covers nothing.
My glasses, I just always end up sitting on them. So glasses aren't, I have them and I will wear them at night, but rarely are they not under my ass. So it's hard for me to.
I'm one of those that'll like, I'll fall asleep and like take them off and kind of like put them off to the side, and then they fall off the bed, or I'll roll over on them.
Yep.
So.
I need you to clip. Oh, sorry. I need you to clip Amanda. Rarely are they not under my ass, and us just put that and say, "What is Amanda talking about?" Put your guesses in the comment. Just that.
Could be anything. But just to reel it back in a little bit on the topic of your music videos, I was wondering how y'all cast the villains in your music videos, because that's at least 2 now that have a set villain in it, and it doesn't look like it's the same dude from Petty.
It is not. We considered that actually, but then I thought they would, people would be like, okay, so wait a minute. This guy was bad news. You already chased him down an alleyway with a chair strapped to his back, and then you brought him back to kill him? Like, you should learn to get over people. That's what I was, I didn't. And like, Ben was great because Petty was a much more like humorous video. Like, he just makes like the best faces. He's like my fiance's, he is my best friend's now husband. So like we see him all the time, and it's always funny because like we'll go to the bar, and if people like say like, oh, Gold Steps, we're like, yeah, and we're with This guy, which if you don't know him,
Not me.
but the villain for Narcissist is actually, we're friends with a band called Fluorescence in Chicago. They're freaking amazing. And so that's their drummer. We were like, because
we got together, we put our heads together.
Yeah.
We were like, who would make an awesome villain?
And Alex is like, he's super nice and he like likes all of our TikToks, you know. So I was like, well, at least I know he like likes our music too, and like seems to like you know, follow us enough. And you know, we've talked to him, you know, plenty of times. So to me, it was like, why don't we used to do this all the time in our music videos, was like ask, like in Austin, all of our friends were in bands. That was literally like all we hung out with. So we had so many of our friends in multiple music videos, and it was kind of like a way to almost like show that we were all part of the same community and that we were all like good friends and we went to each other's shows. And so we'd be in each other's music videos. Like I was in a handful of music videos down there. I mean, we all were. So it was just kind of like, to me, we don't do enough of that up here, of like everybody, you know, music videos a lot of times now are like shot maybe last minute or like kind of low budget, or like we filmed for Gatsby. We literally got like a last minute, like, hey, we can film this like literally today. Can you guys make it work? And we're all like, yeah, I guess we'll just fuck off of work. And we asked our neighbors, Grace and Tyler, if they would come be Zach's friends that he plays, like, well, not friends, real friends in the music video, to like play cards with and stuff. So they were like, yeah, we could do that. We could be in a music video. So it's kind of like, you know, but a lot of times I'll like, when I dream up our music videos, I have like grand vision, and then I have to scale it back based on like budget and time and where can we actually book this thing. But I always want to feature like our friends in our music videos because it's kind of a fun experience. Usually it means that we can all go have drinks or food or something afterwards and everybody's pretty chill. Like I'm not as comfortable directing people I don't know. And since I'm usually the one like kind of helping set up the shot, it's like so much easier for me if I feel comfortable with that person already. Like with Ben, I knew he was super down. Like we were like, make sure you wear one of your ska shirts because I know how much you hate pop punk. You love ska. So make sure you showcase that. Like, you know, what, like, can you like make that face? Like, you know, that face you always make when somebody says something like this, like that's the face I want for that face. So it was good. Like, even with
you
Alex,
said that to him and he's just like, what face? What do you
Well, he has a couple faces, so we cycled through. I was like, no, not that one, the other one. Like, remember the face you made when we saw that lady at the bar and she was like literally drooling on the counter, like that face. Or like when we saw someone wearing like army pants and flip flops and we were like, it's not 2003. That face. He's a good guy. But Alex was really easy to work with too. Like I think he really, like, I gave a lot of like instructions before he like agreed to do it, and I was like, if this is too much, let me know. Like I know some people don't want to play the bad guy, but you know, I know you're a really nice guy, but I think that you could pull it off. You're like cool enough, and you kind of like, you know, you can make the vibe happen even if you're like a super nice person. So
I feel like playing the bad guy would be the funnest thing to do.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I'm not a bad person, but you know, it'd be fun to act like it for a few minutes.
It is fun. Like that's why I like music videos, because it's like acting. It's like you take this emotion and you dial it up to like, you know, an exaggerated level because it needs to come across in the film without being too campy, or maybe you want it to be more campy. So there was, you know, it was fun being like, I would never, ever probably have like the guts to act like this to somebody. So this is like my fantasy of like taking down this person who has just absolutely pissed me off so much that I really just wish I could take me and my gang of boys and like just be like, you know what? You pissed me off. You crossed the wrong girl, and now you're going to get dragged down an alleyway and You can guess what happens next.
It was fun, like beating the shit out of him, but he is the nicest person ever. And I was like, I felt so bad hitting him, and like we actually hit him. Yes, we were hitting him, we were kicking him, we were dragging him.
We're waiting for our letters from the lawyer.
Yeah, this is Zach admitting to a
exactly.
crime. This is now a true crime podcast.
We're gonna have to put like a whole bleep over everything Zach has said.
Oh no!
Cannot incriminate. Cannot incriminate.
It's gonna get
That's funny.
pulled off TikTok because it shows violence. I didn't know you guys were actually hitting him. You guys are mean.
It happened. It just happened.
Got
just
really
happened.
wrapped up in the moment.
The one scene I didn't get to pull off that I wanted to originally was I wanted to like step with my boot like on his like face. Not on Alex's face, but like on the narcissist face. Like the original idea for it was going to involve like a bunch of other girls, and we were going to kind of girl gang up on this dude who was going to think he was going to get with all of us. And then we would take him to a back room, and we'd actually like it. Like, have you ever seen that movie Hard Candy?
Yes.
Yep.
With
yes.
Yeah. So like kind of like that, but not a child. Like
Yeah.
very
That's
clearly
funny.
we're all young women, but this guy messed with the wrong chicks, and we all had each other's backs kind
I
of
think
thing.
if he did that though, it would have been a little weird. He would have been like, or some people, you know, that
Some people might still just be like, "Does this
Yeah.
girl hate men?" And
No.
like, it's the ones that have pissed me off.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
feel like if that's not the vibe that you're giving off in your music, then you know.
No. I hang out with dudes all the time. I'm literally in like a male dominated field everywhere I go. I'm like outnumbered. So, and I've written songs about girls too. Like not Under Attack. Stay the Same was about multiple people, and I told them all it was about a different person, but it was actually all about them. And the fact that they picked up on it, were like, I don't know. It seems like it could be about me. I'm like, oh no, why?
Why would you think that?
Because I've never listened to an angry song and been like, oh my god, could that have been about me?
Yeah.
Because you don't think that unless you've done something, right?
Yeah, then
Yep.
you're just telling
Right.
on
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah.
And then if
That's a
it's
good
not
point.
about them, you're like, why should it be about you? Why?
No, go
Spill.
on.
Are you-
Spill.
if the shoe fits, walking it.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to touch on, or revisit rather. Last time you said that the writing process and recording process with Alan was what he calls a vibe journey. And
Yes.
now that these songs are out in the world and you can actually talk about those vibes, if you want to go a little bit more in depth into what that process was like.
Sure. So, okay.
Sorry, I just
The gentleman would like a word.
really quick. We talked with other bands as well who have gone there, and like Action Adventure or Telltale or other bands really, they have also done the vibe journey, so it is an Alan Day signature.
Mm.
That's my little
Hashtag vibe journey.
hashtag
That's
vibe
that's
journey.
what you're
my
paying
little
for.
touch of advice touch of information that I wanted to give. But no, you can describe the vibe journey.
So Alan is very much about like, he doesn't want to take a song and be like, okay, so you brought me this song and you want it to sound like another band. Like, you know, he's more about like what's best for that particular song. And maybe that's why all three of the songs we did, I don't think if you put the three of them together, everyone, like, I don't think a lot of people would be like, yes, these are all done by the same producer.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because, you know, like some bands, they pay to go to a particular producer because they want that producer's sound. So like the John Feldmans of the world or the Max Martins of the world, like you go, or the Travis Barker of, you know, like like the Barker core, or as somebody pointed out, it should just be Barcore. The Travis Barker. But people go for a particular sound. We just wanted to work with Alan because he really impressed me when we were meeting with him. And he was like so much about showing rather than telling. And other producers we've, you know, talked to or like met up with or like gotten emails back and forth, they were more about just like listing who they'd worked with. And Alan was so much more about like, okay, you've literally never heard this song because only 600 people have, but this is where it started and this is where it went. And like, I just wanted to do right by the emotions that were present in the song and my intentions with them. And I know that of all the songs, Missing Out was a completely different vibe from what the demo was, which was like this kind of upbeat, almost campfirey, like almost country type song. And it was really cool when we were writing it because we wrote it in Nashville with Phil Barnes, who's worked with Taylor Acorn. And, you know, when you get that high of like coming out of a session and you're just like, oh my God, oh, it's so good. It's so good. And then you listen to it 18 times on the way home and you're like, okay, I know why we did what we did, but it doesn't feel like me. And it kind of walked a little bit too far one way of the emotion that I originally had written this song about. So when I went to the studio with the guys and we went with Alan, Alan picked up immediately that like, he was like, you're not happy. I was like, well, it just, after reflecting on it for a couple of months or weeks or whatever we had it. Yeah. Like we wrote it in February with Phil and then took it to Alan in March. And I remember kind of being like, I wanted it to feel more tense. I didn't want it's not a happy song. It's about like, it sounds like the message is happy. It's about being happy with like missing out on what everybody else is doing. But the whole thing about it is it's still a struggle. Like every day I want to put my foot down, my foot and my phone down and just be like, I'm not worrying about Instagram today. I'm not worrying about TikTok. And I don't give a shit if I got 100 views on this video or 10,000. I don't care what somebody else's video is doing. But it's really hard to walk away from stuff like that when you're constantly ingrained and like expected to like be successful to other people who are helping build your brand and your band up. So the whole intention of the song is about like, I'm trying to remove myself from that world and be at peace with who I am and be at peace with what I'm doing. But I really can't let it go because it has its little claws in me. And it's because I asked for this, right? Like I signed up for this. I wanted this. But I'm not okay with where I'm at, even though I'm telling the world I want to be. So it's more than just this like, yeah, I'm good with myself hanging out on my couch. I love me. Like that's the place where I want to get to, but I'm not there yet. And so that's why the bridge is like that, I can't get out of my own way. So that was kind of where we moved that with Alan and we kind of gave it this like creepy vibe. And I don't know, maybe it didn't resonate with a lot of people, but I think it's because it's such a complicated feeling that it's kind of hard to explain. Like unless you've been there and been through it. Yeah. But we have had a couple people come up and talk to us and say like, there's a girl that has posted it on Instagram a bunch. And it's actually like, it was like her #1 song for March, like over like some pretty big artists. Like it was her #1 song on Spotify. And that like blew my mind because I was like, so she's like the one person in the world who understands what this feeling is. And that's who I wrote the song for, was for myself and for other people who know what that feeling is like.
But the vibe journey, that was incredible. Literally, like we would sit in a room just with the with that main chorus, and we would go through a series of different beats on Pro Tools. I mean, that is what the vibe journey really consisted of. It went from like different like hip hop beats or even like crazy drum beats that just drew the song in that direction.
There's like you hover your mouse or something over it or click on it and it creates like its little sample.
A little loop, yeah.
And then you like are like, ooh, I like the way that sounds. You like click on it and like go into it, and then your MIDI controller from there you can kind of play around with it and like mess with the beat or the notes that it's playing. And so that's how we ended up with that really creepy like ding 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 ding. That was Alan like playing it on a little MIDI controller to like get that sound. And we liked it because to me it sounded almost like a broken music box. And sometimes I feel like a broken music box.
Oh
no.
Well, there's the title. That's it.
Broken music box.
Sometimes I feel like a broken music box.
You know, those creepy, like in every horror movie, there's like that ballerina, like somebody, like a girl died in a terrible accident, and somebody goes into her room during the funeral and like opens up the little ballerina music box, and it's like playing like some like the Nutcracker theme or something, but it's like all warped and like that's
Can you do that again?
It's never as good as the first time.
It never is.
On top of recording a lot of new music, you guys have also been playing a lot of shows. And pretty consistently, especially in the winter, I feel like you guys had a lot of shows going on. Fall, winter. So
We took
are
a
there any
little break.
Yeah.
I think maybe
I'm trying
like
to think.
I
Like
think
right
we
before
took-
the holidays, maybe you guys had like a
Yeah, we
yeah.
we ended up playing 2 shows in one weekend because a band dropped off of a show like December 15th, and we were playing at the same venue like 2 days later. And we just emailed the promoter because we know her, and we were like, hey, like, we're not doing anything tonight. Like, we live like 5 minutes away. We'll totally come play. And at first she was like, I don't know. I know you guys play on Sunday. And then like 5 minutes later, she was like, what the heck? Come on down. So that was fun. Who was that with?
I can't remember.
Mom Jeans.
No, you would.
No, not Mom Jeans. Mom Rock.
Mom Rock.
Mom Rock from
Mom Rock.
Nashville.
I was like, it's either moms or rocks or jeans.
Yeah, one
We just
combination of some
one
of
of
those
them.
words.
Million
I know
years ago.
some band names I always am just like, they sound too familiar.
I know.
Me
you know what?
me and the story so
You know,
far.
really- You know what we keep getting though? We keep getting Gold Step.
Step.
That is,
Instead of steps.
it's so
I
frustrating.
was trying so hard to not be petty the last show we played, I think. The band right before us was like, make sure you stick around for Gold Step. And then so like me, I was like, seriously? So I like went on, because like I would feel horrible if I messed up somebody's name, but like they obviously
Yeah.
didn't even like notice. So then when we got up on stage, I made sure to introduce ourselves, and I was like, and we're Gold Steps from Milwaukee. And
I would do that.
I don't know, maybe that's petty of me, but like
I think the S is kind of disappearing over there. Oh, there it
it's
is.
on my boob.
That's
On my boobs.
My
So like,
Gold boot.
but like, there's been times where we literally like showed up at the venue, and I'm like, okay, it is taking everything in me to not find a piece of chalk and just put like another little S
Yes.
like, on the side. Like you guys
Yeah.
asked us to play.
There's
No,
still,
no, no.
there's people that reach out to Revival, and they'll be like, "Hi, Revival Records," and we're like,
Yeah.
"It's not us. It's not us."
Nope.
Who's that? I don't know her.
There actually is a Revival Records, but it's in like the UK or something like that. And we're like, "This is not. We're American."
There's also a lot of gospel music that uses revival, and
Yeah.
yeah, anytime I've
That's
told
true.
people
Right.
at my other
Crazy.
jobs, they're like, "Oh, is that like a Jesus thing?" I'm like,
Have you
No.
seen me?
"Do I look
Yeah,
like?"
you're like, yeah, actually I found him.
I found him. He's over at the
Oh,
church.
man.
Anyways.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about was collabing with other artists. You did a collab with
McKinley.
McKinley.
Yeah.
I
Say
didn't want to pronounce it wrong.
It's
McKinley.
MKNOY.
It's McAnally.
McKinley.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just kidding.
So the terminal.
It's actually
So
pronounced Cameron.
Let her finish.
can you touch on that whole process of working with another artist like that?
Yeah. So Ben had reached out to me a few months before this all came together. I want to say he reached out in like September. And I was like, yeah, I never get asked to do features. I would love to do more of them. Send the song over. And he sent it, and I didn't do anything with it because I suck. And so then he like kind of poked me. He was like, hey, did you get a chance to listen to the song? I'm like, oh no, I'm totally going to though. I promise. And then I still didn't. And then one day he was like, hey, I was just wondering because, you know, we're wanting to finish it and put it out. And I was like, oh my God, I suck so much. I will listen to it right now. And I listened to it, and I was so freaking blown away and impressed that I felt like a complete jerk for like just like being busy. Like it wasn't like I was like
Yeah.
purposefully ignoring it, but I also like don't like to listen to things or like mess around with stuff like that because it deserves my full attention. Like somebody is sending me a song that they've spent a lot of time on and cared about, and it's not appropriate for me to not give it my full attention, which is a very difficult thing for me to do. So I sat down at work on my break and I listened to it, and I was like, just completely blown away by how good it was. I was like, I cannot believe that I get to write my own part and sing for this song. I haven't been this excited about working with somebody else's song, you know, in years. Well, yeah, like maybe like a year and a half before that, I'd done some vocals for Thief Club, which that song finally came out too. But I like getting to like stretch my wings and like flex a little bit more and like do something for somebody else's sound, because sometimes it's like it's almost easier in a way because all the pieces are there. I just have to put my piece to it. Whereas like when we're writing with Gold Steps, a lot of it's like, and what have you brought to us, Betty? And then like, I don't have anything. Do you have anything? Help me.
That never happened.
It's true. I just don't. I don't know. I just bring stuff to you guys instead. But so I wrote my part for it in like 10 minutes. Like I was listening to like I really wanted to mirror the first verse, because it was supposed to be like this like sad breakup duet kind of thing. So I was like, oh, well, I'm obviously, it's like almost like a call and response. Like he's saying all these things and I'm going to kind of like clap back and like kind of be like, but you said you wanted it to work, but it didn't. And like, okay, if that's the way it's going to be, then go on and push me away. And I got to really do some fun vocals on it. And then I just ran with it. And I was like, I don't even care if you use all this stuff. When we send stuff to our producer, Kieran, we will give him like 10,000 extra vocals and extra layers of harmonies that he's like, wow, that was so much. And I'm like, well, I know, but now you have choices. Do your thing. You have all the things. You have more than enough things. So I did that. And I sent that over, and I still have the text message that he sent me that was that Ben sent me that was like a screenshot from his producer, because I like cried when I got it, because he was like, wow, most of the features I get are sincerely like garbage, because you can tell the person didn't care. They're just doing it to do it and like be done with it. And he was like, I could tell that like she cared about it and that she put real work into it. Like these are good takes. Like there's emotion there. And I was like, why would you do anything if you're just going to phone it in? Like, just don't do it then.
Right.
Like, don't do that. I'm so type A that it hurts me, but I loved working on that song. I loved filming the video parts for it. Like,
It was so cold.
It was so cold out. A guy wanted to buy my car. It was bizarre. I had like people, it was like an observation lot at an airport, like at the airport up the street from our house. And so people were like, we're in public, like people are like looking at us. It's kind of weird. Like, but yeah, there was like a guy that was like parked there and he was just like staring like the entire time. I was like,
so awkward.
Like, look at my face. But then a guy in this really sick Bronco pulled up and he was like, want to trade? Jack probably wanted to. It was like a brand new Bronco. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then McKinley came up and played 2 shows with us. So we got to like invite a bunch of friends to be on those shows, and we got to play in Milwaukee and Chicago, and we got to play Jackbox with them. And they were sincerely some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. We had so much fun with them. I felt like they were like my brothers when they left, and I hope they are super, super successful, because they are genuinely like, they operate like our band does, where it's like treat everybody like you would want to be treated. Like treat people as though they are just your best friends. Be kind to them. And like I just have never had as much fun with another band as I did with those guys. Like they were amazing.
That's awesome.
10 out of 10.
Now, don't you wish all the features were like that? If people ask you to feature on stuff, don't you wish they all were like that?
Yes.
I wish more people would ask me, but actually right now I have like 3 sitting in my inbox that I need I need to work on.
And they keep like things randomly.
And then I'll be like, hi, I'm so
yeah.
sorry. I have no one to help me record this stuff right now, and I'm useless and can't do it on my own. So we're working on it. I have a couple more that I'm going to be ending up finishing soon. So that's coming. That's not stopping anytime soon.
Very cool.
I can't record myself.
Yeah.
Yet. I'm learning a lot of new things. I'm learning to play guitar again. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm like kind of starting from like baseline and like trying to do on my own again. So yeah.
Nice. Growth.
Very cool.
Growing.
Well, let's talk about a different cover that you did. Let's talk about the Creed cover. What made you pick Creed that specific song for the grunge cover album.
That was a joke.
Do you
It was actually
really,
a joke.
Do you really want to know why we picked Creed?
Yes, I do.
We knew the butt rock revival was coming. It was bubbling underneath the surface, and it was just a matter of time with all of the high-waisted jeans that have been in fashion.
Butt rock revival.
Rival.
There's a band that we've played multiple cover shows with, like for like emo tributes and stuff. They just launched their butt rock band. Their butt rock tribute band that mostly covers Creed and Nickelback, along with a little bit of Buck Cherry, I'm sure. You know, just like stuff that you're drunk and
some
chain smokes to that 4th of July.
Yeah. It wasn't a joke.
It was, no, actually. So we were like in the car because we had tried to do the whole cover and we recorded 2 versions of it and hated both of them. And we're just like, this isn't, something is not vibing right here. So then we were stuck because we still wanted to do it. We were arguing over like what we should do. We were on our way to a show in Indianapolis, I think. And as we were pulling up to like Raising Cane's or wherever we were going for on the way there for food, Alex was like, what if we did Creed? And I was like, I don't think Creed's grunge.
And that's when we reached out to you guys.
And then we were joking.
So...
And then Amanda, I think you were like, now that you've said it, I have to hear it. Like, you can't not, you can't sit down and not do it. And then we were like, okay, now which Creed song? And One Last Breath had the most plays on Spotify. So that's why we chose that.
Oh, nice.
But after learning it and listening to the lyrics, like I was like, wow, this is a really deep song. This dude is in pain. And while I don't agree with how he decided to deal with his pain, because, you know, we're not religious or anything, it makes sense that like in your darkest moments, you reach for whatever straws you can grasp, and he chose Jesus. So
good for him.
So do other people, and that's good for them. I choose dogs.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a dog named Jesus. So when people say, have you found Jesus? Say,
yes.
He's at my house right now. He sleeps with me.
I just keep thinking of that TikTok that's going viral of like this girl telling her mom that Jesus came back, and she's like, oh, show it to me, please.
Oh, yes, that's...
So I don't really spend enough time on TikTok to understand what other people are seeing that's viral, because my TikTok is literally just Taylor Swift and the occasional Chappelle Roan and like this guy
I'm going
who,
to see her in May.
We might be. I bought fake tickets on a website, but then I called them and I was like, hey, I'm going to do a chargeback on my credit card, and they were like, no, we're a real third-party dealer. So right now the tickets are in purgatory because I called my card company. And like, I called them. I spoke to a really nice lady on the phone, and she was like, well, so the chargeback can't go through because, you know, it has, you have to like, the charge has to post first, and then we can do a chargeback for it, but we're going to do some investigating. So we're going to reach back out to you.
What's happening?
I don't know. She was from Visa Services, Southwest Visa Services. Her name was like Anne or something, and she was very nice.
Shout out.
But Anne. So I like, then after I called them, I was like, well, maybe I'll call the company. And so basically, like, what I did, it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I was like, oh yeah, Chappelle Roan tickets, the pre-sale's like today or something. And I clicked on a website, and it was literally called tickets.com. But my brain was Master. And so I was like, oh hell yeah, they're only like $80 each. Like, I bought them. And then I got an email later that day from Chappelle Roan's official Spotify account giving me a pre-sale code. And I was like, I already bought tickets. I didn't have a pre-sale code. How is this possible? I'm a fucking moron. So that was when I started investigating, and I panicked and then I tried to get tickets during the real pre-sale on Friday, and the only tickets left were VIP, and they were like almost $400. And I was like, I love Chappelle Roan, but I literally drove across the country for $100 Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
And I just can't justify this right now. Like, I love Chappelle Roan, but it's like her first album, like, I don't even think I would have paid that much for Taylor Swift. So we had these purgatory tickets, because when I called the company, I was like, are these real? She's like, yeah, they're real. What we do is like, we pre-buy a block of tickets that somebody knows they're going to get from Ticketmaster.
Ugh, I hate that.
And basically they're like, but they'll be delivered to you within 48 hours before the show. So I'm like, great. So on May 16th, if I don't have my tickets, then I'm going to double check with my credit card company. But right now, they like took the charge off my account, but they're just holding it. So if it gets like rejected or whatever, because if it's a legitimate service, they'll like decline your chargeback, and then I'd still have the tickets.
Yeah.
But it was also nice because I was like, well, in the chance these are real, I only paid $80 each for them instead of $250 or whatever dollars each for them. So
Yeah.
but I love her. She is so goofy. She brought back Fugly in the craziest way on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is Fugly.
My boyfriend got me in her. I like knew who she was before we met, and he got me like way into her. And then he was like on the pre-sale like the second it happened and bought tickets for the Asheville date. And he's like, "This is the last time we're gonna get to see her for this amount of money because of the Guts tour and
I know
all that stuff." So.
Do you want to know?
Well,
those Olivia Rodrigo
how much
tickets?
did you pay for Olivia?
No. I didn't go because first of all, it was a Taylor Swift nightmare again. And then I got the like Taylor Swift email where it was like, "Oh, we released some more tickets." Still didn't get any. Then the night before, I'm looking at tickets, $800 for nosebleed resale tickets. I'm like, excuse me?
This is what at least I will say this, at least with Taylor Swift, she made them all like a certain face value. Resellers can eat it because they suck ass. And it should be illegal, and there should be legislation because nobody should be mortgaging their house for the second time to get themselves.
Come on, Biden, you want those votes this time around? Figure it out.
But at least the face value tickets for Taylor Swift did not screw around with surge pricing.
Yeah.
Even Paramore, people who worship them, even Paramore on their tour before this last This Is Why tour, they had surge pricing, and that's why I didn't go see them. Because I was like, surge pricing. Obviously, we're all trying to buy tickets at the same time. So I got to see Paramore with Taylor Swift for $106.25 for my middle center, straight on from the stage, nosebleeds. And I did have to drive across the country for them, but it was totally worth it. Would do again.
I would.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about how
we started
the
at
government
Chapel Roan and
treating
ended
things
on
like
Ticketmaster.
It always ends on my hate, all of our hate for Ticketmaster, realistically.
well, they are the supreme narcissist, which brings us back
There you
Yes.
go.
to Narcissist.
It's actually
Wrap
about
it
Ticketmaster.
up. Yeah. You know what?
Only it was.
You should tag Ticketmaster in all the promo for this. All the rest of the promo. When it's released.
And it just says narcissist.
Yeah.
I did want that like called out a couple of famous men who are worshipped for some reason by some people on this earth for things that they actually didn't do or contribute to positively in society in any way, shape, or form, in my personal opinion. And it did not take off on TikTok. So something tells me that even TikTok is like, I don't know, we don't do this, guys.
We don't hate men over here. No.
Yeah,
TikTok hates
but
men.
you guys are the lesser genders. Shut up. Man.
Oh.
My
goodness.
but yes, Narcissist out. The video comes out Thursday.
So both
Have
will be
You all
on
watched
live
the
time.
video?
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what was that?
You all
seen
watched
the
it?
video.
Have you seen
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yes, I've
Yeah,
seen
we've seen it.
Hence the
Right.
We've seen it.
confusion about the villain. I think first of all, the song's been stuck in my head since like the second I heard it, and I think the video is really fun, and it all came out looking really cool.
It was interesting that
great.
you chose to do like a kind of like a almost like sci-fi kind of feel to it.
That's
What was
true.
what was the reasoning behind that kind of direction?
So-
I guess.
So the
No, it's fine. You can talk.
So no, come here. So originally I wanted to do like a Prohibition era vibe kind of thing. It was supposed to be in this really cool like bar up here in Milwaukee, but due to time and budget constraints, our management company, one of the girls that it's just naturally turning.
It wants to.
We found this studio down in Chicago.
Just let it.
That we'd actually it's the weight of the laptop doing it. It's not me.
Anyways.
You can scooch this way. Thank you. I need you.
Finish.
So there was a studio down in Chicago that we actually filmed Blank Space in the same like building, like warehouse, but it was a different studio. So within this like big old warehouse, they have like 7 different studios. And so she found this one, and I was like, I like that price per hour. It's available on a weekend that we're available. And I like the vibe. This seems familiar. And it turns out because Fluorescence had actually shot some promo videos there, and we had seen them before. So Alex was like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with this room. I've been here before. But that was just kind of the vibe it gave off. And I happen to have this dress that I bought on Poshmark that I wanted to wear for like a stage show forever, but it's white and like I'm just like a messy girl. So I was like, when am I ever going to get to wear this? And then I was like going through my closet trying to pick out my wardrobe for this video. And I was like, I have this brand new like dress that I've never worn before. And it's like perfect. It's like space. It's like
Princess Leia.
No, it's like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct meets like, Padme from like Star Wars or like Princess Leia. So I was like, well, this is perfect because it's like sexy, but like not too sexy, but it's like sci-fi without being like, pew pew, I'm a space alien, you know, like it kind of like rounded all the corners that I wanted it to.
Because it made it a fantasy of you wanting to kick your narcissist ass.
Exactly. And then even though I've never seen The Matrix, like I get the vibes, and like leather trench coats are so in right now. And I'm like, man, I really like need an excuse to buy a leather trench coat. And it turns out it's very hard to find one when you're very short because they all drag on the ground and they make you look way like boxy. And so I found this cute little trench coat that like hit like mid-thigh. And it's like, I got it for like $50 on Poshmark. Resale.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
The good kind of reseller.
The good kind of reseller. Exactly. And then, so the vibe was just like, as soon as we saw the studio, I was like, okay, I can work with this. Let me like reformulate some of the scenes and stuff that I had in mind. And we got to have like that cool, like that blue, like dark vibe to it. And
I can't wait, because we took some behind the scenes that are like just ridiculous. Some behind the scenes videos. They had a crotch rocket.
Oh like, yeah, like on a little stand motorcycle. That came with the room. It was included in the price. We were like, oh,
and so we all like took turns on it, but basically Betty sang like the chorus on it, and it just looks stupid.
The guys really like did a good job like playing into the vibe and being goofy with that. So, but it had like it was like such a cool spot. And then we got to do like the scenes where it's like that big light wall behind us, and I was like, oh, this feels like very 2000s-y. This feels like very like
Britney.
Pop girl, main pop girly moment. And
Britney Spears.
It was very Britney Spears, and like we put like the ring light up, and so like I feel like it looks really good. I hope it came off that way, like once it was finally edited. I've just been sharing clips from like the raw videos because I'm excited. I want people to see the whole thing, and I want them to be like impressed by it, because we put a lot of work into this one. I mean, we put a lot of work into every single video. You would not know from watching Missing Out that we were like miserable shooting that whole thing, but it was like 4 degrees out with a wind chill of like negatives, and like my boogers were freezing in my nose and my eyeballs. Like it was just.
Speaking of like the McKinley, the terminal where people were watching us at the airport in the observation lot, through Missing Out, we went through like a public market that was indoor, and like literally Ryan had to shoot her while walking backwards. So I had to guide Ryan through crowds of people.
I hate that. I don't like interrupting other people's day for my bullshit. Like they should be willing participants. And these people were, I mean, maybe mildly amused. We did have a manager come over, and she's like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, we're doing a student film. And Ryan's like, we're filming a music video. I talked to Omar. He's the building owner. And she was like, well, I just talked to Omar, and he said that this is not you guys shouldn't, like, is this for like a commercial use? And I was like, there is no money being made off this. Promise. I promise. There's no money being made off this. And she was just like, I was like, we're done. I promise we'll leave. And she's like, okay, I mean, it's fine. Just go. And then I was like, we shouldn't use any of this footage. She's going to see it, and she's going to be like,
and it's
take
like
that
some
down.
Of the best footage. Like, it looks so cool.
It's okay.
like it.
I just don't like interrupting other people. And like when we moved to a different public market where nobody cares what you do no matter what, because it's like actually a public space. And like we like almost ran into like a baby stroller, and I was like, okay, I don't. There's like people drinking things.
That was on
and,
purpose,
like,
though.
And I just didn't want. I don't know. There's just like a lot where I was like, I don't like, you know. And then we took our little streetcar because I was like, oh yeah, we can highlight the streetcar because it's like a thing in Milwaukee. It's the hop. And then while we were on there, this girl comes up. She's like, "Can I be in your video?" And we were like, "No." And I was like, at the same time, I was like, "No, there's like, you're literally the only other person in here, and we're not filming you at all. It's just like us." I was just trying to get some cool imagery, like flying behind me, and then of course it started stopping, and then it sat there, and then the conductor gave us these crazy energy drinks that were called like Dragon something.
Venom.
No, that wasn't Venom.
No.
It was like so off brand that I've never even heard of it. And we all were like,
Venom.
yeah, free energy. It wasn't Venom. It had a dragon on it. Look it up. We gave it to Alex, our other guitarist. And it had like, I looked at it and it had like over 100% of your daily like recommended dose of sugar in it.
It's called Uber.
It's called Uber.
Oh, you can actually see
Why
it this time.
See, that one works.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and it had like a dragon on
Low-key
it.
feel like
But this guy just like pulls out a
heard
case
that.
of them.
Yeah. Somewhere, like
I think
maybe
it's
on
in like
TikTok or
grocery
something.
stores and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's
I don't know.
definitely like way over your allotted
I just
sugar
looked at the
for the day.
ingredients and the amount of sugar in it, and I was like, this is gonna burn a hole through everything inside me. So I'm just gonna.
Mhm.
We kept it in our kitchen for a while, and then I finally gave it to Alex like last week. I was like, we're gonna throw this away, and if you think you would maybe drink it, I would rather you have it than me throwing it away, because I don't like to waste things. Then I was also like, be forewarned, it was given to us by the conductor of the hop.
Order.
I don't know why he had it. He like stopped the hop.
It's
and
just
like
his
was like,
company.
"Anybody want an energy drink?" And we were like, "Are they free?" He was like, "Yep." And I was like, "Okay." I used to take free energy drinks from concerts. They have like Rockstar sponsoring it, so I thought maybe he was like low key a sponsor, but I'm not actually sure.
He just
Yeah,
found
this
it on the
Conductor is
train.
a sponsor.
Yeah,
But
Oh my goodness.
good time. Good times.
Anyways,
Yeah.
but yes, Narcissist, the video comes out this coming Thursday. This is coming out on Monday the 15th. The 15th.
Tax day.
Oh shit, you're right.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, guys, gotta get off and go do my taxes
get
now,
going.
because Betty just reminded me. Fuck. Okay.
don't say it. Don't
We
say
just
it.
finished
Don't say
ours.
it.
We just got ours done on Saturday.
Damn it.
I'm
It
gonna
was-
file an extension.
Yeah, I usually
I-
do. I usually do.
Honestly, it was much easier this time. Last year was the first year we filed as a business. And I'm really good at being like, I'm going to take such good records this year. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's February. And I haven't touched any of it since April of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Whoops.
Same.
So
But
do better at
Nice.
record keeping. But we're,
oh man.
yeah, yay taxes. Don't forget about your
Yeah.
taxes, people.
But
yeah, I know.
U.S. government, the ultimate narcissist.
what was I gonna say? But yes, this by the time this episode comes out, the video and the song will both be out this coming Thursday and Friday. Any final thoughts before we go into our songs of the week, which as I'm saying it out loud, I did not warn y'all about beforehand.
Oh, surprise.
Surprise!
Yeah.
After at the end of every episode, we did the same thing last time when you were on, Betty. We do a song of the week, just something you've been listening to. But
It can be
final
new,
thoughts?
old, can be
I have one.
literally anywhere.
go ahead, Zach.
Shoot.
I have one.
No, we are.
Um,
wait, she said before we get into the song. of the
Oh,
week.
Oh,
well, unless you don't have anything.
Wait,
You don't have to have
Whichever.
a final thought. No thoughts,
just go
vibes.
listen to Narcissist. It's
Yeah.
inspired by a real moment in my life, and I will never tell a soul who it's about. But
There
if
go.
you think it's about you, it could be.
It could be.
There you go.
Could be. It could be. It's probably not though. It's a little obscure, but that's okay. And it was inspired by a particular moment But then as I kept writing it, I just expanded it to like involve more feelings and such. But I'm pretty proud of it. I think, to me, one of the most incredible lines I've ever written that I was like, man, I'm really proud of this, is self-filleting good guy. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a lyric. It's going to be on the radio as far as I know, because I don't think that
no one's gonna know what
saying
that
filleting-
means, or no
It's not.
FCC guy is
Right.
gonna like be like, that's
Get your
vulgar.
dictionary and be like,
Get your dictionary.
I was going to give some shinfo.
Self-filleting.
Shinfo.
All right.
But for those of you who are nerds about English, did you know that the AP Style Guide is now switching to the Merriam-Webster dictionary as their official recommended dictionary?
Huh.
I did not know that.
Wow.
Good to know.
I got it in an email today.
You got it in an email.
I was amused by it. I was like, oh, I haven't thought about AP Style since college. Now I'm thinking about it. It's on my radar. Thank you. Email from...
Shinful of the
It
day.
was from... I get a local magazine's like recommended articles like every single day, and it's something that I like do research for at work. I'm like, oh, I'm keeping up with the community. And so it's important to my job as an ambassador of the community, specifically for the brewery I work for in my office. But I learned that today, and it was very exciting to me. And so go and look up the term narcissist, and then look up filleting, as it's a verb. Self-filleting is also a verb.
And once
means
you
to
know
eat yourself.
what those words mean, you will understand why
You can
it's
appreciate
such
the
a
song
solid,
more.
solid lyric.
It is. But I was really proud of the lyrics. I hope people actually read them. I think I'm going to post them and put them on things and just be like, I'm a disappointment to my mother, but at least I have a good vocabulary.
No, I lied. That's the title. There you go. All right, Zach, what's your song
She
of the
likes
week?
me.
I have been jamming Daddy of Mine from 4 Years Strong.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have heard it yet. It's got this creepy little dude that kind of looks like the guy from Sesame Street.
No, that's Fake Friends. That's the video for Fake Friends. Daddy of Mine is different.
No, I'm talking about the little Sesame Street looking dude from the cover of their single artwork. It's creepy.
Hmm.
I'll have to look
Nice.
at it. We talked
Yeah,
about
it's fun.
creepy stuff, so
Amazing.
Betty, do you have a song of the week?
I guess I wouldn't have a song of the week. I have more of like a...
Vibe of the week.
Well, just like an EP of the week. I've been jamming Between You and Me's new EP. So they're independent
nice.
right now from Hopeless, and they released an EP called Shit Yeah.
Nice.
And it's a good little 6-song EP. It's like 18 minutes long, and honestly, I think they did a really good job of picking songs that just have a good vibe. So good on them. They're still doing it. They seem happy because everyone kind of knows that they hated Hopeless. And we're not shy about writing about it on their last record. So definitely been jamming Between You and Me a lot lately. On top of Chappelle Roan's new song.
Which, good segue, is my song of the week.
Yeah!
There
See?
you go, Amanda.
Yeah, it's Good Luck Babe by Chapel Roan, and I've just been scrolling my TikTok feed next to my boyfriend, and every time I move my finger, it's just, you could kiss 100 boys in bars. It's wonderful.
Do you
and
know the
she's
dance?
great. I'm trying really hard. My boyfriend knows the dance.
I will never film myself doing any
Yo.
TikTok dance, but I worked really hard to learn the you
Hold
think
up.
I didn't see there were flashing lights, and then I never
Yeah.
filmed myself doing it because I was like, I thought too hard about it. So like even when I did do it, my face was like,
Okay, I was thinking of trying to learn the dance, and because I'm leaving for our Latin American tour on Monday, and I was thinking of while we're in airports trying to get the guys to do it, but that requires me to learn it.
Yeah,
and
right.
dancing in public.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would literally like give you a medal if you were able to accomplish that. Like we would have to like do something big if you got
no,
that
the good
together.
luck thing.
but
Oh,
Yeah.
period.
They're,
My point was that song is my song of the week. Good Luck Babe.
oh, love it. No, we watched this music video on Friday.
Oh my God.
And it was the worst
Okay.
thing I've ever seen.
So somebody played Caroline Polachek's song, the da 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 da.
Yep.
So hot, in my feelings. And then we watched the music video, and I was like, "What even is this?"
Don't
Her
watch
dance
it.
moves are like.
So I didn't
And she
realize.
does well.
It is
And
fucking
all the
weird.
comments under it were like, "This is my vibe. This is a vibe." And I'm like, "This is a vibe." I love Caroline Polachek's music, but I'd never seen this music video before, and I was like, "What?"
So I saw people
Yes.
doing that dance on TikTok, not realizing it was like actually from the music video. So if I'm thinking of the same
Just watch
thing,
it.
I don't know. I haven't watched the
She's in
video.
like the plaid skirt, and she's like, there's like fire, like in like it looks like she's like in a cave kind of thing, and then she like
Starts
skips
skipping.
around, like she's like riding a horse
You
that's
got
not
like
there.
you need to watch it now.
And I was
Okay.
just I was like, this set costs lots of money. You can tell. There's money put into this, and that's the choreography. Yeah. Caroline Polachek. Choreography.
Song of the week. Music video of the
Haley,
week.
what's your song?
That's my choreography of the week.
Other than Narcissist.
Other than Narcissist,
Yeah.
obviously.
I think I'm gonna go with "All Over You" by the Spill Canvas. I think that's the one I'm gonna go with.
Good choice.
Is that new?
Andrew got me into them.
No.
It's not
Very
new.
old.
Very old, but it's so good.
Very old.
Courtney,
And I'm
take it
gonna
away.
go with an oldie too, because I just bought tickets for the Dashboard Confessional and Boys Like Girls tour, and so I'll do Dashboard hands down.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
Nice.
Excited for that show.
We were listening to Boys Like Girls on like Monday.
He was like, "Were you ever really into this band?"
I don't know. We just like listened to them, and I was like, don't remember.
Does anybody remember when Taylor Swift dated Martin Johnson?
Yes.
I didn't know about that
obviously.
until way after the fact, but
Yes.
such a mind-blowing fact.
They did that "Two Is Better Than One" song.
Yep.
And I remember that was like the first time I remember like hearing her on like mainstream pop radio, because I didn't really listen to like country music or anything when I was
That's
younger.
her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like my first like, okay, now I've heard her on something else. Like, cool. I guess she's into the emo boys too. Like, aren't we all? It's 2008. But I guess I didn't realize they actually really, really dated. But there's been all these like fan theories coming out about like recent songs being like, oh, that's about Martin Johnson.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess maybe because Speak Now came out, like the re-release. But I thought most of those songs were about Harry.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to like kind of see people being like, oh, this is still Martin Johnson code. And it's like, what does that mean? You don't know what that means.
Because nobody knew
weren't
like
there.
anything about their relationship, so I don't know how anybody would know what
They didn't
was
date
Martin
very
Johnson
long.
coded. So people are just
Well,
deciding what they want to find true. But
Before we go off on another tangent,
yes.
thank you guys for joining us again.
Yes.
Yes,
Everybody
thank you
go
guys.
stream
Thanks for having
Narcissist and Missing Out and Undercover.
Do your
and
taxes.
Do your taxes.
You're talking.
Yes. So
the
that's our
government will
words of
find you.
advice for the week. Stream Gold Steps and do your
And
taxes.
Ticketmaster. Petition
Yes.
Ticketmaster to do something
Yes.
about their bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well,
thank you guys.
we will-
And talk to everybody
Talk
next week.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
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 Thanks for tuning in to this episode of It's You, Me, and the Scene, brought to you by Revival Reportings. New episodes released every other Monday, and be sure to keep up with us on all socials at It's YMatsPod. That's ITSYMATSPOD.